So NumPy is a Python library. It's an open source Python library. So NumPy stands for numerical Python. So this NumPy is useful in performing or while performing operations on numerical data. Right? So this NumPy uh, contains ND array. ND arrays means n-dimensional arrays. Right? So, and matrices, matrix data structures. So this NumPy contains ND arrays and matrix data structures. And the functions to operate variety of functions. There are variety of functions in this NumPy which are very useful in operating on these ND arrays and matrix data structures or matrices. This NumPy, one of the very important reason why we use NumPy, because we already have lists in Python. We already have lists. But you know, let's say we have this list A is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, right? So this list. Now I can use NumPy array to store the same list, store the data which I can store by using this list. So let's say this B is NumPy array, which is storing similar data to this list. Then then why do I need to use NumPy arrays if I already have list? Why do I need to use NumPy arrays? The reason is NumPy arrays are faster in processing, faster in processing. This is one of the important or main reason why we use NumPy arrays. Now, what do we mean by faster in processing? Now, the reason the faster in processing is NumPy arrays are processed faster by the processor, right? We can do manipulations on this NumPy array faster as compared to this list. How can we do faster? That means why processor is able to perform fast processing on this NumPy arrays. The reason is while storing this NumPy array, we use static memory allocation. Static memory allocation. Whereas for storing this list, we use or Python uses dynamic memory allocation. Dynamic memory allocation. Now, when we use static memory allocation, the elements of that data structures are stored continuously or they are stored in contiguous memory locations. For example, if this is your RAM and these are the locations in the RAM, so this array is stored in contiguous memory location. Maybe let's say starting from this memory location 10, 20, 30, 40. If this is memory location, let's say 3000, this memory location is 3000, and let's say this in order to store this data, we require, let's say, for example, only 1 byte. For example, only 1 byte. It will not require 1 byte. It will require probably more than that. But let's say 1 byte. So if this is 3000 location, this will be 3001. This will be 3002. This will be 3003. So the data of this NumPy array is stored in contiguous memory locations. Now, what is the advantage of storing in contiguous memory location, right? So this data can be accessed faster by the processor. For processing this data can be accessed faster when it is in contiguous memory location, right? So, and other reason is you can access any element of this array randomly. Random access will be fast compared to random access here, right? So any element can be accessed randomly, in the faster way. So that is that is the reason why NumPy arrays are very popular, or why NumPy has become popular compared to this list data structure or any other data structure for numerical data processing. Now, in case of this dynamic memory allocation, the elements of these lists are stored in any location they might be stored. For example, if this 10 is stored on, let's say, location 1000, Then this 20 might be stored on location, let's say this 20 might be stored on location 5000. Then this 30 might be stored on location 3000, and 40 might be stored on location, let's say 8040. So they are stored randomly, they are not stored sequentially. That's why processor needs time to access these elements whenever processor processes this, right? So that's why these lists are slower in processing compared to the NumPy arrays, right? So these are the important reasons why NumPy is NumPy arrays are popular compared to the lists, right? So let's summarize what we saw, right? So NumPy is numerical Python. It's an open source Python library. So it contains n-dimensional arrays or multi-dimensional arrays and and matrix data structures. NumPy arrays are faster in processing compared to the lists. So these are the reasons why we go for the NumPy arrays.